welcome again to another program. Hopefully it's going to be great. From SCLC Today, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done some research. We have been telling you all along, America must galvanize itself and come together. Attorney General Merrick Garland addressed Congress a few days ago, and he was asked basically what's the biggest threat domestically as well as internationally, but let's just say domestically within this country. What's the biggest threat in terms of America? And what the Attorney General said was white supremacy. White supremacy in terms of the articulation of people, regardless of the parties, people who are silenced when they see what is taking place with people trying to denigrate, bring about elimination, to remove from society people of color. He said, white supremacy, it is gaining more strength than ever before in terms of the last, I would say, 50 years, in terms of what we have been involved in civil rights. And think of this, Coach Tommy Tuberville. I won't even call him U.S. Senator. Coach Tommy Tuberville said that nationalism, in terms of the white aspect of nationalism, white nationalism is what make America great again.
You mentioned the Biden administration trying to prevent white nationalists from being in the military. Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be tolerated. It must be talked about. It must be exposed. And America cannot afford this type of abomination within our society. It is very degrading, embarrassing to a country that's supposed to be leading the way for the whole world. There are white national threats of nationalism, of whiteness within our society today. People are going back 300, 400 years on attack of people of color. And look what's happening in Florida, without prolonging the program. How many of us of color and fair-minded thinking white people who work for what is right, how much are we going to have to suffer and die because of this type of mentality? Ladies and gentlemen, read my lips and listen to me as well. We must stand up and eradicate racism from our society. Black, white, green, or blue. We must eradicate racism. Dr. King talked about the 3 ills in society. Happen to be racism. Did you hear me? Racism, poverty, and militaristic, which means law enforcement must stand up to do the right thing. Law enforcement is a part of Dr. King's envision of the military. It's all basically the same. People carrying weapons forcefully, discriminatorily, and bringing about the ultimate death of an individual. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 ills in society happens to be racism, poverty, and the military. We must understand that you cannot sit idly by and do nothing in terms of support. We're not afraid to tell the truth. That's what you get on this podcast of SCLC Today. That's what you get on SCLC Network. And I ask the question, how many other networks, that's traditional networks, that you're going to hear the truth the way we're telling it? Thank you for asking. I will answer the question. None. Because the truth must be told. Attorney General Garland himself said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat in America. I'm just quoting him, the Attorney General, who happened to be of the Caucasian race, who happened to be a white man that's leading this country and the top law enforcement personality that you have in a structured program within the United States of America. The Attorney General himself, the Attorney General of America, said, and I quote, white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat that we are currently enduring. Ladies and gentlemen, we have problems. However, before I close, I was just thinking about Coach Tuberville. All those black athletes that he coached at Auburn University, Texas Tech, not to mention others perhaps, but I know about those two universities. And 70% of the team happened to be African American. And this man thinks like this, and he's supporting discriminatory practices of racism. And he said that's what making America great again is all about. And he's one of the leaders in this. Coach Tuberville, shame on you. Abomination to the best degree that I can think of. God bless you. And we will deal with the 3 ills in society, as Dr. King said: racism, poverty, and militaristic. Have a great day.